Hi guys, I'm here at Knepp Wildland in Sussex. I'm here to talk about the Vera trees, these little pockets of thorny scrub here. And what they are is they are naturally formed areas of scrub that deer, horses, cattle and pigs can't graze down because it's obviously too thorny. They browse down what they can, but eventually you have these rather upright sections of scrub, brambles in most cases. And not only are these fantastic bird habitats, but what they actually do, as you can see in some of these here, is they're the only place with free roaming grazers where trees can naturally regenerate through, as you can see here. This is because obviously the animals can't reach the saplings this way, and it's the only place that they can't. So the trees push through here, and eventually when the tree grows very tall, you have enough shade that the brambles can't photosynthesize, the brush can't. So they die off, and you get an area like this, tree with grass underneath. And at this point, the tree doesn't need the brambles to protect it. It may be knocked down by a larger animal or have its bark rubbed off, but generally it's pretty tough by this phase. And it actually benefits from the pollarding they get from browsing. So this is really interesting, and it's called a Vera tree because Frans Vera, a Dutch grazing ecologist behind Wildland, came up with this. And his idea is that Europe, before its heavy human impact, was an open forest like you see here, not a very closed forest, although there would be pockets of that. This idea that a squirrel in ancient Britain could have run from Land's End to John O'Groats without touching the ground because there was just so many trees is just not true. And dung beetle and snail fossils show that, because they're in such abundance that it could only have been a relatively open space with grasslands. And the only thing that could have kept it open and stopped the succession leading to a closed forest are grazers and browsers. And grazers and browsers therefore were in relatively high density, bunched and herded, moving through, and the only places that trees could survive therefore was areas like this brush. And that's why they pop up here, and they're still kept in control, because at the end of the day they're shaded out by the trees eventually, like I said, or browse down in their young phases. But these are great habitats for hedgehogs, birds, whatnot. And it really does challenge traditional ecology's view of Europe and rewilders, really, because we spend so much money and time and effort saving what our idea of native British woodlands are, when actually sometimes it's better to step back. Frans Vera found this out by essentially rewilding, releasing lots of ponies and cows resembling aurochs and deer onto a huge reserve in the Netherlands called Wildland. And he only noticed this effect when he put the keystone species in and stepped back and saw things like this. This is what is really valuable about rewilding. Process-led approaches. Processes like these allow us to step back and watch, rather than trying to preserve a specific environment which, for all we know, wasn't natural, wasn't actually the prime ecosystem. And it really represents a good thing, which is accepting what we don't know so that we can find out more. I mean, science and ecology aside, it's probably one of the most beautiful types of ecosystem that I've ever encountered in this part of the world, especially the UK. To me, it represents a perfect mix of vegetation, grasslands and pasture, and brush, beautiful oak trees, ferns. You have everything. It's diverse. And the edge effect in ecology is known for its biodiversity near the edges between two environments, near woodlands and grasslands, and near scrublands and forest edges, and habitats like these that were always shifting between woodlands and grasslands and wetlands and whatnot and shrublands. These were incredibly biodiverse because they were always in a change of biodynamic flux, of kaleidoscopic change. Just like a kaleidoscope turns round, you see lots of different colours in any certain area. It's always alternating, but the general distribution of colours over time is roughly the same. And this is what environments were like under a thriving, balanced ecosystem. A constant change, a constant state of change. And that was the only constant, was change. Of course, there were areas like this where sometimes grazers couldn't get to easily, and this led to little pockets of the woodlands that we associate with the term woodlands today. But generally, it was a mix. Also, you'd have more open areas like this. So, but yeah, it was a mix, and it was created naturally through browsing and grazing and plant defences and selection. So yeah, I think I've rambled on quite long now, so I'll leave you there. Thanks if you got all the way through. Please leave a comment and like and subscribe, and also have a look at my blog if you can. Thank you very much. Bye.